show is set in the 70s. Where did that idea originate, and why did it come about?
So the first, I'll take you right back to what I think is the seed of this idea. So when we first were training together on the Made in Bristol training program, we put loads of ideas into the hat of what our show could be, which turned out to be Riot. And one of those shows was about Tom Brennan's virginity at the time. So the show was going to be about Tom trying to lose his virginity. And then we kind of put that to bed. We were making Riot. And actually then, a couple of years later, when Riot was on at the National Theatre, and we'd just done 33 about Chilean miners in Edinburgh. We were sat in the National Bar, we'd all had a few to drink, and it was the success of Riot was built on the characters being quite close to us, and us really knowing what we're talking about. And some of the troubles we had with 33 was about the massive size of what we were talking about, and that these people are miners in Chile, a million miles away from us, some 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds. So it was trying to find a story that we could go back to us and what we have, something very personal to talk about. And we thought, okay, sex is a good one. And I was like, oh, let's make fucking. So a show, it gets back to us, and it's about young people having sex, and how sex sort of is how that affects young people now, I suppose. Young people in their 20s, and the pressure to have sex. And then Tom was like, oh yeah, the 70s, like let's not set it now, because if we set it now, lots of companies like us are doing that, and it could be a cliche. And Tom was like, the 70s would be really cool, we could have a really cool soul band, and it's in between the sexual revolution and AIDS epidemic. And then people were like, oh yeah, that sounds good. And then this idea of the history of it came into the idea more. And we weren't 100% sure it would be about in the 70s, but we thought we'd find a place. And the more we researched it, the contraceptive pill, the birth of lots of movements like the Gay Liberation Front and second wave feminism, more and more it felt, and the explosion of pornography, more and more it felt like it had something to say about now, but wasn't just us being ourselves on stage. So that felt exciting, and then it goes on from there, and you go forward and forward.